Hello everyone and welcome to part 37 of F1 Challenge Career Mode. It is finally here after all this time. It's been a good 6 to 7 months since my last video, which is just insane. I apologise for that. We're going to kick straight back into it, go to San Marino, hoping to return this series back to a more regular basis than it was before, and certainly actually produce some videos. So here we are in San Marino, driving the BO as before, and we kick off with the commentator.
Just before the free practice session begins, let's take a quick look at the Drivers' Championship. Schumacher is leading the Drivers' Championship, but having finished third in the last race, he'll be hoping to go a bit better and win here at the circuit Enzo Edino Ferrari. Juan Pablo Montoya, second. Mika Häkkinen, third. Well, that covers the drivers. Let's take a quick look at the constructors next. Ferrari lead the Constructors' Championship. McLaren are second. Williams are third. Located approximately 35 kilometers southeast of Bologna, the historic circuit Enzo has short and medium speed straights with a challenging mix of slow turns and varying speed chicanes. Despite numerous revisions in order to improve safety, this circuit, renamed in honour of the late Dino Ferrari, remains one of Formula One's classics.
So here we are in practice. Now obviously I was quite rusty to the games, that's why I did a lot of practice laps. I did, I think, just over 25 practice laps in total. This is the fastest time that I did. No accidents in practice to report on this time. I did a 27.5, a long way off the pace, longer than I was in Brazil or Australia. So I really have to work on my pace for qualifying. And in qualifying, the first lap we had was obstructed by a Benetton. Not quite sure it might have been Giancarlo Fisichella, but still we were blocked in the first lap a little bit, lost a bit of time going into that last sector. We're on very low fuel, as you can see. Obviously we only have a few laps where we can get this qualifying right. We set a 27.3 for our first lap, so fast in practice. Then we're improving by 3.5 tenths when we spin off, hit the wall, and of course that ends that run. And of course we'll have to go out again to see whether we can improve. And we do improve to a 27.370, so that's a really tiny improvement. But then later on in the session, as you see on 4 tenths, with barely any fuel left, and I crossed the line to a 26.6, an impressive time, and we'll now see how that does in qualifying.
Hello there. Welcome to San Marino for round 4 of the 2001 FIA Formula One World Championship. The big question mark today is the weather. None of the official forecasts are saying with any confidence what conditions are in store. Schumacher first. Coulthard second. Raikkonen third. Juan Pablo Montoya fourth. Häkkinen fifth. Barrichello sixth. Schumacher fared the same as his championship rival. He starts alongside in seventh. The BAR driver endured a lackluster qualifying session and faces a tough start in the midst of the chasing pack. He starts 8th. Jarno Trulli, 9th. Eddie Irvine, 10th. Jacques Villeneuve couldn't quite match the pace of his teammate. He starts 11th. Branson, 12th. Heidfeld, 13th. Jean Alesi, 14th. Giancarlo Fisichella, 15th. Berti, 16th. Verstappen, 17th. Button, 18th. De La Rosa, 19th. Fernando Alonso, 20th. Enrique Bernoldi, 21st. Tarso Marquez, 22nd.
Here we are then for the race, starting in 8th place in the BAR next to our old teammate Ralf Schumacher as we wait for the lights in San Marino. Lights out and away we go. Looks like Ralf Schumacher hasn't started. All the cars in front have gone off into the distance as Jarno Trulli looks down our inside. We go round the outside, going down into turn 1, up into 7th place. Can we go around the outside of Rubens Barrichello? Can we take the position? We go round the outside. We then go the inside from the next corner, but we've mounted the curb a little. Rubens Barrichello is still there on our left. And we've drifted wide onto the grass, and we can't keep control of the car. We're losing control. We're going to spin off into the traffic, hit Jordan, hit the wall. nearly hit the wall, now hit the wall, and then we drift back onto the track where we're very lucky that the Minardi of Marquez didn't hit us there. So we've got suspension damage, got various things. At this point I decided, look, I can't make a return to the series with an instant DNF after, what, 2 corners? That would be a piss take. So I decided to restart the race. You can see there's 2 cars behind me, the Arrows and the Minardi. I was very lucky for them to stop. But anyway, we'll restart the race here as we wait for the lights here in San Marino. Lights out and away we go. Ralph Schumacher has started this time, but Rubens Barrichello hasn't. And Jarno Trulli again goes down our inside, and we're down into 8th place. Can we slipstream Jarno Trulli? Yes, we can. And we're going to go down the inside into turn 1. We've way outbroken ourselves, hitting the back of Juan Pablo Montoya, span our car into the gravel. It looks like we haven't got any damage, and we're not going to hit anyone, so we have to rejoin the track here as safe as we can, not try and lose too many positions. We're down into 13th, with the Jos Verstappen just behind us and John Lazy in front as we go down into the end of the first sector. We need to get past these Prosts as soon as possible because they are slow. Beside John Lazy, but he gets the drive out of the corner. Now can we go down the inside in this next corner? Yes, we can. We're going to go down the inside of the other Prost, Bertie. Very, very late manoeuvre, a bit aggressive, but I knew how important it was to get past those Prosts because they are just so slow. But looking at a replay of the start, you see Rubens Barrichello failed to start, and looks like a Jordan back there also failed to start. Heinz-Harald Frentzen that'll be. But we went down into the first time, we just way outbroke ourselves and just hit back of Juan Pablo Montoya. Juan Pablo Montoya had a half spin actually, managed to get going again before anyone hit him, and that gave a big advantage to those people up front. I think it was the top 3 of Michael Schumacher and the 2 McLarens. But going down into the end of the first sector, had to be aggressive with these Prosts. As I said, they are just so slow, and I don't like getting stuck behind the Prost anyway. It's not a good looking car. So I went down the inside of John Lazy, down the inside of Bertie, who did defend actually, so credit to him, but I still got past him, and I had Sauber in front of me. Now for many laps, because I was slightly rusty at the game, I actually had the same pace as all of the midfield cars, so I sat in a train, and it actually turned out to be a truly train, which is just perfect really, with the Jaguar behind, and then you'll see Jacques Villeneuve, the Sauber of was it Nick Heidfeld I think, and then myself, and then of course the 2 Prosts, the Arrows, the Benetton. So it really was a train. But right up front, surprisingly, Kimi Raikkonen of all people started leading the race, which is just insane, and he kept the lead. The McLaren just weren't going past. So anyway, looking onto lap 10, sorry, we're in 11th place, and we're slipstreaming Nick Heidfeld as close as we've been throughout all these laps. We've got 11 laps of fuel left. We're going to go down the inside of Nick Heidfeld into turn 1, and that is an easy peasy manoeuvre, and we now need to look at our teammate Jacques Villeneuve. Now the pass was reasonably easy. We had straight line speed in a lot of these cars, but the slipstream and of course our straight line speed, we had a straight pass. Didn't have the downforce so much in the corners, which I did notice, especially with the midfielders, because usually I have a lot more downforce than them. But then I lose the car slightly at the end of the first sector. The same lap we passed Nick Heidfeld, and he's attacking us. We're going to stick it on the inside. Nick Heidfeld's going around the outside. We haven't quite got the drive. Nick Heidfeld's gone past us, surprisingly, on lap 11 of this Grand Prix. We're going to try and go down the inside into the fast left-hander. 4th gear, very long. Can we hold it around the outside? Nick Heidfeld then runs onto the grass, and again we have the run on him. We're going to try going down the inside. Straight past Nick Heidfeld. We're going to shut him out on the outside as much as we can, and there we go. We've passed Nick Heidfeld. Hopefully we don't make a mistake and let him back past again. But I just go wide, lose the back end slightly, and do a little drift. And Nick Heidfeld has the run on me, obviously, throughout that corner. And then he sticks around the outside very well, actually. The AI doing a great job of battling there. He then got the drive out of the corner on the outside. I then, of course, had the slipstream, went down the inside for the next corner. Nick Heidfeld then naughtily went off the circuit, and the AI somehow getting enough grip on the outside there to keep ahead. But then had the slipstream again going downhill, went down the inside, shut him out on there. He went onto the gravel and grass a little bit, but of course he kept the momentum, and I am past. Now I noticed a yellow flag here on lap 11. And this track is known for, if the AI pits, they tend to smash into the back of each other, and I believe that Michael Schumacher of all people has crashed. There's a Jordan already in the pit lane, and he just drifts into the pit lane, then just smashes on that curbing for the pit garages, which is weird. But here we go, we've got Kimi Raikkonen right at the front of the pack, and is he going to be taken out? No, he takes out a Minardi, and by doing that he's knocked himself out of the lead, which is just a shame because he's doing so well. But we're up into 8th place now. through all these hyperlinks, and we're actually lapping some cars here. I've gone past Jack Villeneuve, I've gone past Eddie Irvine. There's some opportunistic passing right here, and we're up into 6th place and up into the points. Very surprising. I wasn't catching them until this point, but then the Minardi with no rear wing, must have been the Minardi that Kimi Raikkonen hit, was slowing down, so we are instantly past both of them, and we now need to try and hunt down Jarno Trulli, but he pits on lap 15, and we're up into 5th place with Juan Pablo Montoya coming out of the pits just ahead of us, but we've then overtaken him down into turn 1, and we're going to try and keep him behind us for as long as possible, but towards the end of the first sector, he just drove it down the inside, and I had no answers to that. He has more downforce, fresher tyres, and he was doing an amazing job. As you see, it brightens up by lap 20 for when I have my pitting in lap. I make sure not to get in the way of people when they're pitting. So I move slightly to the left before the final corner to stop them ramming into the back of me about 180 miles an hour. But let's see how long the pit stop is from BAR. It is a 9.3 second stop, and we've got Eddie Irvine just behind us and David Coulthard in front of us. But where are we going to come out here? Due to all the accidents and things happening, I think Eddie Irvine is about 5 seconds behind, so we've come out in 4th place, which is amazing. But the Williams here has smashed into the back of that Prost at unbelievable speed. But we're up into 4th place. We've got Pablo Montoya now retired in front of us. That's going to move us up into 3rd place with 6 laps remaining. Now Eddie Irvine was actually really fast this stage of the Grand Prix. He's right behind us as we go to the line. But it looks like we are going to pick up a podium position. Very surprising. Maybe it's through retirement. I mean, Ralf Schumacher did win the race with David Coulthard coming 2nd. I come 40 seconds off the lead. And Eddie Irvine, I believe, pitted again at the end for some reason. I think it was fuel or something the AI didn't calculate properly. But a really good race there. And a really good result for BAR. My old teammate winning in the Williams. I believe he may have won last year as well. But we'll hand you over to the commentator.
That was an absolutely breathtaking San Marino Grand Prix. Here are the final results. Ralf Schumacher first. David Coulthard second. The BAR driver third. Eddie Irvine fourth. Heidfeld fifth. Jean Lacey sixth.
Third place finish here in San Marino, a really decent result. As you can see, only 11 finishes in the Grand Prix, with my teammate Jack Villeneuve going out last on the 24th lap. But an alright result. I think we can move forward from that, and hopefully next race will come much sooner than my previous one.
With the results confirmed, it's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship.
So there we are then, Michael Schumacher leading the standings on 18 points, equal with David Coulthard, and then a really close bunch of drivers with the Ferraris, McLarens and Williams, and then of course there's me on 8 points, not too far behind. Maybe we'll start challenging that later on.
McLaren regained the lead of the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari are second, followed by the third-placed Williams.
That is it for part 37 of May F1 Challenge Career Mode. I am sorry for this video being out so late, but please show your support by liking this video. But I will be back with the next race a lot sooner than this race came out to Brazil, I believe it was. So I hope to see you then. BAR are now 4th in the standings, but I don't think we're going to be beating those top 3 because Jack Villeneuve isn't going to supply for us. But I hope to see you next time.